Okay, I wanted to make my first Resident Evil video that I've ever made. This is a big day for me. I love making videos, and I love this game, even though it's violent. I don't really like the violence in it, but it's quite entertaining, and it's visually stunning to look at. I know there's newer games out now, but man, I love the looks of this thing. And it's just challenging enough to be fun, thrilling, but not too hard for me, because I never play these games. So I'm kind of old. I'm like, 53 years old. So this is kind of big adventure for me. So I've got some tips on how to defeat this giant sculpture of what's his namey here. This guy, I'm going to fight him a little later and show you how to beat him. It's probably one of the hardest fights I had in this game. I've been through it once. I have way too many weapons now, and they're all totally upgraded as high as they can be. I've got body armor, I've got everything. I've got shotguns, 45s, I've got tons of weapons I've collected, and everything's kind of maxed out. One thing I've been having fun with on this particular pass, there's all the stuff I've got, see what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous. I'm trying to save up $1 million because I want to get the rocket launcher that lasts forever, One thing I'm doing that's kind of fun, though, is I like to go through and use my knife a lot. Like I'll shoot a villain, a zombie, and then I'll go up and hit him with the knife a couple times because I like to save bullets. That's kind of one of my philosophies on this game, is to shoot as few bullets as I can, and if I can hit something with a knife, I try it. So that kind of shows you where I am on the map. I'm going to get a long-range rifle. Now this rifle has a scope connected to it that is, what do you call it? Heat sensing. Infrared. Now, there's only one place you can get that in the game. It's when you start finding these terrifying monsters that go. You'll know it when you see them. They're really scary. So when you defeat a couple of those, you have to look really carefully in those rooms where you first face one or two of those, and then you will find a scope that can see into the infrared like this. And it's really fun and kind of an amazing scope. I've accomplished a lot with this thing. So here I am. I'm trying to figure out a way to, make this sculpture change. There's a little lever on the back that I need to get to. I thought maybe if I could shoot it, I could get it to turn on or off and get some things moving. But that didn't work. I really love just snatching up the treasures really fast. I've gotten good at just kind of flipping my hand out, popping it in and getting it. I hate losing any treasures, so most of the times I'll let the zombies get down off of some platform and get close enough to me that I can collect the treasure that I get from them. My hands are real shaky because I'm an old dude. Oh, I hated that. I had some kind of treasure there that I couldn't get because it's out in the water. My hands are really shaky, but I find if I put the right hand on my cheek when I'm holding the rifle, that I only have to stabilize my front hand to get a good shot. So that's helping me be pretty darn accurate, and I've always been a good shot. And I feel that these games are pretty realistic when it comes to shooting. Sometimes there's a recoil on a lot of the guns. It seems very accurate to me. So you see, I've gotten pretty good at this game. I'm going to play a harder version soon, especially now that I have all these weapons. I'm probably going to play it again, and I'll record more hidden treasures and stuff like that. I'm having a really good time recording stuff and sticking stuff on YouTube lately. It's just a lot of fun. The way I do it is I record it on the Oculus. I've got like my left eye, and it's recording just one eye, because this is the Oculus 2, right, for virtual reality. So I got this left eye that's being recorded. I don't like the square shape. I may end up trying to find a way to fix that. I haven't figured that out yet. Then what I do is I upload those files that are created on the Oculus to my Android phone, which has the Oculus app on it. And once I do that, I can say upload file to the cloud, to the Oculus app. It shows up in my Oculus app on my Android, and then I have my Android hooked up to my PC, Windows PC, and I'm able to transfer the file pretty quick and easy. And I store it on an external drive so I don't hog up my drive because they get kind of big. And I've had a lot of fun with that. I've downloaded about 7 or 8 videos now, so I'm going to try to put out a bunch this year. So now you see me, I've kind of gotten rid of most of the bad guys that are obvious here. So what you need to do now is you need to control his hands and how they rise and fall. You see that right hand that he has is kind of going up and down. So I just shot that lever, and now I can jump here and get the little treasure that's there. I could shoot the lever again and change it, but I just pull it now. That's going to bring it down so I can jump to the other side. You can't really get to the top unless you ride that hand all the way up, which I'll show you how to do in a little bit. So now I'm wandering around, collecting as many treasures as I can. You always have to watch these guys because sometimes there's snakes in there, right? So every time you break one, you want to have your knife in hand ready to hit that snake if it pops out. There's at least 20 or 30 snakes in the game, so always watch out for that. It's no big deal. There's so many plants everywhere. It's pretty easy to recover if you get damaged like that. If you hear some grunting or whatever, that's my pug dog. He's pretty annoying sometimes. I'll pop up a picture of him. Matt, my pug. He likes to sit right on my feet when I'm playing games, which is awesome in the cold of the winter. Even though it's Vegas, it does get kind of cold here. He sits on my feet and keeps me warm. So the other thing I've kind of learned as I've played these games, if you sit at the top of a ladder and a bad guy comes up, you can just thunk him with your knife over and over again. It takes patience, but it's an easy way to get rid of somebody without wasting bullets. And there are definitely times in this game when you need to stack up a ton of bullets, and a bunch of hand grenades. It's good to practice throwing hand grenades every now and then. If you ever see a group of about 5 or 6 bad guys, ooh, I got 2 at once there. If you see a group of 5 or 6 bad guys, just try to throw a grenade over on them. It's a lot easier, and it's usually more successful, right? So I've been climbing around. I just love the art design on this game. I haven't played the Resident 4 remake. I'm going to check that out in the next month or so. Maybe I'll put some games up on that. But the only reason I'm really playing this is because of the VR. The whole 3D thing is amazing to me. I just cannot believe that there's game engines, that computers powerful enough to do this stuff. I mean, I started out on Atari. That was like the first game. All we had was Pong. Boop, 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 boop. That's it. It would just knock a little ball, and you had a little roller that you'd roll up and down, and the little paddle would go up and down, and the little ball, which was just like 16 little pixels, would bounce off of that. You hooked it up to your TV. And then we played a lot of early Nintendo, I remember. We also had early Windows computers, and we'd play like a really freaky Dungeons and Dragons game that all it was like little X's and O's that would beep around on the screen, and that was a symbol for like a troll or whatever. So I go way back to the early days, not gays, I mean days is what I meant to say. So I go way back. Also, I think I was around when video games first came out, the upright video games. We'd go to a Showbiz Pizza place in Topeka, Kansas, load up on a bunch of quarters, lay the quarters out on the top of the game in a big long line, and that meant I've got this game reserved. And usually that was just sort of stupid squatting. Nobody really allowed you to do that very much, but sometimes you could get away with it. Stack up 10 quarters and just play on one game all day and say, "You see my stack," and people would then have to go and talk to the management, get you kicked off the game. That was all just drag. But there's the little secret thing you have to get to in the back. That controls all the arms and stuff. So you can go around now and see what the arms are doing. See if that, yep, see that? Now I'll be able to jump like that and get to the other side. Pretty nifty. That was a really cool, fun thing to find. I always look in the water and all these things because there's always jewels down in there, and I always look up because there's always something on the ceiling. And it's pretty easy to see stuff like that. There's only been about 10 treasures that I had a hard time seeing, like maybe in a darkened room and you had to be really close or look around some rocks to find it. Oh, that's a nice little gem there, right? So back in those early days of video games, oh, I pulled that lever, and that pulls up my way of running out in a little bit. The giant statue's going to chase me. It's pretty awesome. A lot of spoilers in my videos. I don't really know all the etiquette. I'm just going to tell what I'm going through or whatever. So there's that scope again. You can do that with the regular scope too, but it's so much easier with the infrared. You can see. Sometimes I'll just kind of hold it out like that and take some shots too. I find there's plenty of ammunition for this rifle. You're really going to need this rifle eventually to get the sleet stack guys that kind of go. You know what sleet stacks are? Look them up. That's from Land of the Lost, one of my favorite 1970s shows that I watched when I was a little kid. So my favorite upright video game in those days was Dig Dug. And another game called Battle Zone, where you're a tank and all you are is an outline of a tank. You roll around shooting other tanks, and then there's a super fast thing that comes and attacks you and terrifies you. But Dig Dug was pretty awesome. That was my all-time favorite game. I got in a lot of trouble because, you know, whenever I went to someone's house, I visited my aunt in Baltimore, and all I wanted to do is go to the beach and play video games all day, and they didn't want to do that, so I get in a lot of trouble for that. I got Dig Dug on a little handheld thing that's pretty cheap. When you're doing those hand gesture things, you can't do them too quickly. It's weird. If you do them too fast, it doesn't register. It's like it says, you know, throw your hands out to the right and left. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but if you do it too quick, you do it before it's listening, and that's kind of a bug, I think, in the program. Respond. Oh, here's where he's going to kill me because I don't get through the door fast enough. Finally, I figure out how to get... Oh, yep, it killed me, see? So after all of that, I ended up dying because I forgot to go through the door. It's pretty funny.